Before I say anything else, if your 1-year-old is having frequent meltdowns, struggling to explore, or getting frustrated easily, this might not be just a phase, most parents are told. They'll grow out of it. Every baby develops differently. Don't worry, and while that's often true, sometimes those big emotions are actually tiny red flags. When motor skills are delayed, babies can't move, reach, sit, or explore the way they want to. Imagine knowing what you want, but your body won't cooperate. That frustration builds up, and it often comes out as tears, screaming, or clinginess. The good news, when motor delays are identified early, outcomes improve dramatically. Early support can reduce how much therapy is needed, and how intensive it needs to be. And here's the most important part: you spend more time with your baby than anyone else. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the key motor development red flags we look for at 12 months of age, in a clear, calm, non-alarming way. You are the first line of defense. And remember, noticing a red flag does not mean something is wrong. It simply means it's worth checking in with a professional. Let's start with something foundational: sitting. First sign of a possible motor delay: sitting independently. By 12 months, your baby should be able to sit completely unsupported. That means, no propping up with their hands. No wobbling excessively, no collapsing after a few seconds. They should be sitting upright with a straight back, hands free to grab toys, bang blocks, or pass objects between hands. You should see, even weight on both hips. No leaning heavily to one side. No constant need to catch themselves with their hands. If your baby still needs their arms for balance or tips over frequently, it may signal decreased core strength or balance challenges, both connected to gross motor development. Sitting may look simple, but it's actually a full body strength and coordination task. Second sign of a possible motor delay: limited sitting positions. At this age, babies are little movers. You should see them sitting with legs straight out in front, shifting to one side, rotating their torso to grab toys, transitioning between positions. Movement variety is healthy. Now let's talk about something parents often ask about: W sitting. That's when a baby sits on their bottom with both knees bent and legs angled outward, forming a W shape. Occasional W sitting? Completely normal, but if your baby chooses this position most of the time and struggles to sit any other way, that's worth paying attention to. Why? Because persistent W sitting can indicate hip weakness, core instability, reduced trunk rotation, limited balance development. It can also place extra stress on hips and knees if it becomes the primary sitting style. The key word here is predominant. Variety is healthy. Limited patterns deserve a closer look. Third sign of a possible motor delay: difficulty getting into or out of sitting. Sitting independently is one thing. Getting into and out of sitting? That next level coordination. By 12 months, your baby should be able to transition on their own. You might see them roll to their side, push up from their tummy, shift from crawling into a seated position, move from sitting back down to crawl. These transitions show strength, planning, and body awareness. If your baby gets stuck in sitting, cries for help instead of repositioning, always needs to be placed into sitting, can't move out of sitting independently, that may signal a delay in gross motor progression. Transitions matter more than the position itself. Fourth sign of a possible motor delay: pulling to stand using only the arms. Around 12 months, many babies are pulling up on furniture, but how they do it is important. A healthy pull to stand should involve pushing through the legs, engaging the hips, using the arms as support, not the main driver. If your baby hangs heavily from their arms, barely uses their legs, keeps their knees locked, avoids weight through their feet, it could indicate lower body weakness or coordination issues. Standing isn't just about getting upright, it's about how they get there. Fifth sign of a possible motor delay: standing on toes most of the time. It's completely normal for babies to occasionally stand on their toes. They're experimenting, testing balance, exploring new sensations. But if your baby stands on their toes more than half the time, especially when supported, that's a red flag worth discussing with your pediatrician. At 12 months, you should see feet flat on the ground, weight evenly distributed, knees slightly soft, balanced stance. Persistent toe standing can relate to muscle tightness, sensory processing differences, neuromuscular concerns. Again, occasional, normal, consistent, worth evaluating. Sixth sign of a possible motor delay: strong preference for one side of the body. At 12 months, babies should still be using both sides of their body fairly equally. You should notice reaching with both hands, kicking with both legs, rolling both directions, no clear hand dominance. True hand dominance typically develops later, closer to 2 to 3 years old. If your baby always uses one hand, keeps one hand fisted, drags one leg, feels tighter or floppier on one side, that asymmetry is a significant red flag. Balanced development matters. Symmetry matters, and early asymmetry is something professionals take seriously. Seventh sign of a possible motor delay: limited fine motor skills. Now let's zoom into the hands. By 12 months, your baby should have open hands most of the time, pick up small food pieces with fingers, not just their whole palm. Transfer toys between hands, drop objects into containers intentionally. You should see more refined finger movements, not just a raking or scooping motion. If your baby keeps hands fisted frequently, struggles to pick up small items, can't release objects voluntarily, only grabs with their entire palm, it may suggest a fine motor delay. Fine motor skills build the foundation for self-feeding, drawing, writing, buttoning clothes later on. Small movements today shape independence tomorrow. Bonus insight: toy selection matters. One thing many parents don't realize: the toys you offer can either support development or unintentionally limit it. Toys that light up automatically, do all the action for your baby, require only button pushing, don't challenge motor growth the same way open-ended toys do. Look for toys that encourage reaching, stacking, dropping, rotating, problem-solving. Motor development thrives on movement, effort, and exploration. Calm reassurance and next steps. Before we wrap up, I want to say this clearly. Seeing one of these signs does not mean something is seriously wrong. Development exists on a spectrum. But if you notice multiple red flags, persistent patterns, or something that simply feels off as a parent, trust that instinct. Early assessment leads to earlier support, and earlier support leads to better outcomes. You are not overreacting. You are being proactive, and that makes all the difference. If you found this helpful, hit a like and subscribe, because the more informed you are, the more empowered you become, and your baby benefits from that every single day.